Honourable Member for Calgary, McKay, Nose Hill.
The health and environmental benefits of phasing out coal-generated power are undeniable. However, there are concerns. The government is eliminating carbon emissions from coal by shuttering Alberta's thermal coal industry, which will affect thousands of workers, on top of thousands of oil and gas energy jobs that are now gone forever, according to ATB economist Todd Hirsch. To the Premier, could you please quantify the return on the government's investment in phasing out coal in terms of net jobs affected, revenue and carbon emissions?
The Honourable Minister of Environment and Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And of course, 12 of Alberta's 18 coal plants were in fact scheduled for phase-out under the regulations of the previous federal government, of which the Leader of the Opposition was a part. But there was no plan, Mr. Speaker, for coal-to-gas conversion regulations or any plan for workers. When we took office, we noticed that that was a glaring absence, so now there is a $40 million transition package for affected workers. There are also coal-to-gas conversion regulatory changes, Mr. Speaker.
Let's go.
The Coal Community Transition Fund and the Coal Workforce Transition Program were promised to help Albertans and communities survive the government's energy policies, yet coal communities continue to worry about their future. According to StatsCan, unemployment in Alberta has increased from 144,000 people in May 2015 to 165,000 in February 2018. What specific jobs do you expect coal workers to retrain for, and how have you partnered with local communities to ensure workers have all required supports?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And interestingly, it was our government that negotiated coal-to-gas conversions under federal law, something that certainly Conservatives couldn't be bothered to do when they had the chance. And so that is part of the workforce, Mr. Speaker. Another part of the workforce is looking at opportunities in renewables. We've had very productive conversations with Hannah and the Special Areas Board, which we will continue to have, around opportunities in those communities. And the Renewable Energy Program, Mr. Speaker, will be delivering jobs to southeast Alberta as well.
Second supplemental.
The AER estimates that there are 91 billion tons of coal resources at a suitable depth for mining. There's an additional 2 trillion tons of coal at depth in the Alberta Plains that may be suited for coal bed methane exploration, for example. Alberta now produces less than 30 million tons of coal per year. There must be some way for Albertans to profit from this vast natural resource. To the Premier, what progress can you report on developing an Alberta coal innovation cluster comparable to our food and wireless clusters?
Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And of course, Alberta does have a number of metallurgical coal interests and will continue to develop those, Mr. Speaker. And of course, coal bed methane and extraction of natural gas in that way is an undertaking that's been happening for some time in southeast Alberta, delivering good jobs to communities there, Mr. Speaker. The fact of the matter is that burning thermal coal results in a tremendous number of pollutants and air quality concerns. That is one of the reasons why it's being phased out, Mr. Speaker, in addition to the greenhouse gas emissions it generates.
The Honourable Member.